Hi everyone, this is Suzanne Wagner, and I am continuing kind of my dance theme with my blog for the 31st of December 2022. And so I call this one Following the Flows of Dance. Dancing for me was a gift to understand myself, my emotions, and how to energetically connect to this world. It was an essential anchor into a density that was challenging for my being to navigate. My mother said that when she was pregnant with me, that I never stopped moving. I was constantly dancing around in there. And I can still feel the parts of myself that were excited to be here, ready to try something familiar and new, and determined to be part of the magic that life offered. Unlike many people that I have spoken with, I remember almost everything from my early childhood. I know that sounds strange, but my mind operates with a mixture of videos, motion, sound, voices, music, rhythms, and noticing the patterns that surrounded me. Even recently, a friend from my childhood shared a video of me and Carmina Burana when I was probably only 14 years old. The video back then was terrible, but the moment the music started, I instantly knew the moment I was on stage. My body instantly remembered the steps, and I could watch it as my body remembered the patterns and rhythms that were naturally deep inside my being. Those frequencies had become a part of me, so deeply ingrained that until the music started, I did not quite remember. But once the music started, everything was right there, complete with my youthful exuberance and idealistic view of my world at that time through those innocent and excited eyes. After reading books on interesting people such as Eleanor Roosevelt and Leonardo da Vinci, I see common traits with them. Now, I do not pretend to think I'm as brilliant as either of them, but I do feel that same incessant curiosity for life that they too had. At the age of 62, I can see the parts of myself that are a highly functioning, slightly eccentric, constantly wondering, excitedly questioning, an exact perfectionist, an emotionally intense person, very artistically eager, and energetically dynamic as I wander through this existence. I remember the emotional states of others when funerals were happening when I was about 4 years old. I remember the wonder of watching the sunlight as it hypnotized me as we drove through the endless trees of Colorado. I remember the sounds of my bicycle chain as it would slip as I shifted to go up a hill. I remember the poetry my mother read to each of us then at night before we went to bed, all the while loving the patterns that sang in my head as the story flowed along rhythmic lines. I love the texture of colors, the flavor of a forest, the sounds deep within silence, and the touch of the sun on my skin. It was as if a part of myself was always aware of the complex parts of this existence. I knew that life itself interplayed with me as I danced into this moment of time. Everything seemed to call out to me. It sensed something in me that was more awake, more open, more aware. The gurus always noticed that same quality in me. They saw me as uniquely attentive and aware. They called me a harmonics master. I did not know what they meant by that, but I did understand that they could see that all frequencies were my fascination and drew me in. In my world, the birds chatted constantly about the weather. The trees sang to the wind. The creek moved with the regular heartbeat of Mother Earth. The grasses celebrated the warmth and light of the sun. The animals watched and wondered as I passed through their territories, curious but cautious. All these things were a type of dance. Dance is only the way a body of energy interacts with the elements of life. One can dance where there is no obvious music, but to those of us that feel past the glaring five senses, we can notice that there is music moving through the ground, through the waves, through the wind, through the patterns of life as they interconnect, overlap, engage, and fight for their right to exist. We dance with words when we communicate with others. When we energetically align with others, the energy in the conversation builds towards its own peak, and the mutual exchange blends all the energies of the participants into something very new. That is how we can bounce off each other and create new ideas in the dance of the dreams that live within our own personal philosophies, our own psyche, our own beliefs, and our own potentials that become alive from the powerful engagements that can happen with others. The ideas of others open doorways into my being that I did not know how to open. It's as if the conversations with others are the missing keys to magical closets within. As a child, I loved the sensation overload that such moments of awareness generated as they helped to shape my life and give hints and insights of things yet to come. When one understands the flow of a particular energy in life, then it is easy to follow that flow, and know what it wants, where it is going, and what it intends to become. I loved to listen to music because I could feel past the notes currently happening and know where the composer was trying to take us next. I often knew the exact sequence of notes, the next words of a song, or the next crescendo that was building for an emotional impact designed to transport mankind beyond their small, narrow band of reality and into the higher frequencies and dimensions in which we too still linger, exist, and thrive. While not all rhythms and frequencies perfectly aligned with my personal harmonies and predilections, I could still feel into the patterns that were attempting to be created, even if the creator had not yet mastered certain energies within their own being. Incomplete personal patterns and woundings within cause chaotic patterns that interrupt the flow, cause delays, and stop the soul's progression. That does not mean that such things are completely unpleasant, though sometimes they are intended to be jarring and upsetting to the listener. I have learned through observing the patterns in life that when one understands the organic flow of certain things, then one can begin to know the energy on a more intimate and personal level. Once I know that, I can integrate that energy into my own being by learning how to weave those threads inside, outside, and into my auric or spiritual body. Such a thing requires forms of movement to be able to effectively do. I know that everyone is doing this same thing in various ways. Have you ever noticed those that cannot speak without moving their hands? They carry so much that they want to say that the energy begins dancing out of their hands and body in an effort to show the powerful impact and force of those thoughts as they are feeling. Have you ever been aware of those that have so much internal stress or anxiety that they desperately need to exercise or be busy to try to shake off the energetic overload or somehow integrate it into their neural net? All that energy that they are feeling but do not know or completely understand. I also notice those that walk in odd ways, their body obviously out of balance, thrown too forward, too far back, or even twisted, as in scoliosis. Such people have a unique way of walking or rhythm. Have you noticed? It is a reflection of how they are coping or trying to counterbalance the current energies that this body and DNA are encountering and attempting to learn and move to flow with. They are often carrying traumas from past lives that are lingering and lodged in their DNA for them to learn to unravel, understand, heal, and transcend. Breathing is the dance between life and death. The body gathers up toxic elements and tries to release them through the exhale. The body craves life and needs to take in fresh air, oxygen, and energy to keep this body going in this density. Right now, each of you is a dancer. Some are just not consciously aware of it yet, but dance is moving you to try new things, new flavors, new experiences, and to move energies through and into your psyche, to make you more consciously aware. I celebrate the patterns you are currently trying to integrate and embody. Know that the light and energy that you are is a signature of your being as it moves in this time and space. The more you become aware of the dances that are moving you, the more you are not the dancer being danced by fate. Instead, you become the rainbow dancer, creating life and moving with the cosmic flows of endless potential. Thanks, everyone.